Okay. Yeah. Yeah. Who here is a healer on this call? Type yes in the comments or give me a wave if you are a healer, right? All right. Who here wants clients lining up out the door around the block wanting to work with you? Raise your hand. Let me see a wave. Get an emoji in the chat, right? Yeah. All right, drop a one in the chat if you already have a business and you're looking to scale that business. Or drop a two if you want to start a business and you're here to learn the smart way to do that. Mm. Ooh, I see lots of twos. Yeah, a few ones, some twos. Okay, I see you. I see you. Well, first, welcome to the masterclass. Congratulations to you for being here. Not everyone who signs up shows up. So, whether you are in the room with us now, listening to the playback, or watching on the YouTube channel, way to go on taking action, right? You are an action taker. And that's one of the greatest keys to success, as we are going to talk about and learn about today. So, how many of you would agree that time is your most valuable asset? Drop something in the chat. Yeah. Jessica. I hear you, Jessica. Yeah. All right. Well, I want to thank you for being here. I'm going to do everything in my power to over deliver. Does that sound okay with you if I over deliver? Right? Let's just do a little house rules before jumping in on this super awesome content for today. So, first house rule is be loving and supportive in the chat. Mm. Do we think we can do that today? Be loving and supportive. Now, I think that I have the best staying community in the world, so this should not be a problem for us, right? The second house rule is bring the energy. Is it okay if I bring the energy? I would love it if you brought the energy too. And what does that mean when I say bring the energy? What I mean is be active in the chat, emojis, thoughts, questions, be fully present. Why? Why? Because your engagement has everything to do with you and not me. All right. What you will get out of this when you engage with me in the chat, you have a 4 times higher transfer of knowledge than if you don't, right? Crazy. Maybe even pull out a notebook, right? Because you're going to take some notes today. Now, I don't want you to treat this as a free webinar. I want you to think of this as something that can change your life forever because it can. Price, actually, there are people that have taken my masterclass in the past, and they still tell me to this day there are things that I said on the masterclass that changed the way that they thought forever moving forward, right? So, price informs value, which we're going to learn about today. And I want you to pretend like you spent hundreds, if not thousands of dollars to be here in the room with me today. All right. My VIP offer to work with clients one to one and take them through my business process and framework is $25,000. And you get me here now, right now, for free. So let's make the most of our time together and have a little fun. Is that okay if we have a little fun? Because running a business should be fun. And at the end of this masterclass, I'm going to be announcing an amazing bonus that's worth hundreds of dollars, free to you. Anyone interested in an amazing bonus? You guys are already cracking me up in the chat. I love this so much. Yes, Aaron. Yes. I got you, girl. I got you. Okay. You guys are coming in with some very strong emoji game right now. Okay, party people, are you ready to get started? All right. So, does anyone here ever think there's already somebody out there doing it, whatever it is? Like, I want to start a business doing X, Y, Z, fill in the blank, but somebody is already doing it, or a lot of people are already doing it, and better than I could. Hmm. What do you do when you feel like that? When that is a true statement for you, what do? You hide, right? Mistake number one, stealing profit from your passion is you are hiding. Ooh, can I write that on my board? Ooh, number one, you hide. You see that? You hide. Someone drop an emoji in the chat if you're feeling me, right? Okay, so I'm going to be a little vulnerable with you today and right now. Is that okay if I'm vulnerable with you? Oh, thank you. Yes, Monica, thank you. So picture this. The first 30 years of my life, I was living in a nightmare. Every morning, I woke up trapped in a cycle of panic attacks and constant anxiety. I went to doctor after doctor, and they wanted to put a label on me and hand me a prescription. So for months, I resisted trying every supplement, natural fix. Anybody ever do that on this call? Can you feel me? Until I finally caved. And that's when things went from bad to terrifying. I ended up in an emergency room after a dangerous interaction between a supplement and a prescribed medication. And as a healer, I know you understand this struggle. You've also done the deep work. You faced the wall of conventional advice, and you know how isolating that anxiety can be. You feel me because you've been me. Mm, Christine. Yes. Christine, you had a similar experience. So after getting out of the hospital, I had this oh my gosh moment. I realized I have to be my own advocate, my own healer, right? And this was like a new thought to me because all of this was new. All of this was new. I was determined to figure it out for good. Wave at me if you've ever reached this threshold. Oh, I see lots of waves out there. Lots of waves. Like, yes, yes. Every healer remembers the session that changed everything. For me, it happened back in 2010. I was in the darkest place of my life, fresh from my nervous breakdown, desperately seeking a solution. I had found a Reiki master hidden deep somewhere on the internet. Okay, so this was like 15 years ago, and they weren't everywhere and as mainstream and as common as now. So literally, I found this Reiki master hidden deep somewhere on the internet. And I called her to schedule a session, and she booked me 1 week out. And I vividly remember thinking, will I make it that long? I pleaded with her for an earlier spot, but a week was as soon as she had. I cried after hanging up, hoping this was the answer to my prayers. I was desperate for relief. So a week later, when I arrived for the session, which was held in the basement of her home, right? Energy work was far more underground back then. There wasn't Instagram and TikTok. So I arrive at her home. I was terrified, but excited. Would this finally be the answer? And it was. I received immediate relief. The first session gave me a glimpse of what high frequency light felt like, and it fundamentally shifted my despair. I had found my teacher, I had found my guide, my person. It was several years before I was able to fully regulate myself. No surprise, after chronically allowing my cells to drop so low for 3 decades. But I will never forget that moment. From that moment on, I dove into energy, vibration. I felt called to share it with anyone who would listen, right? I know you hear me, Erin. I know it. Anyone who would listen. At first, I felt like an absolute fraud, a total imposter. Mm. I hear that a lot from my students now. Have you ever heard that voice in your head whisper, "Who are you?" Right? Give me a wave. The inner voice of doubt, this low vibration energy of fear. But I moved forward anyway. I moved forward anyway. Not only was this voice of imposter, but I was also very shy and very introverted. And I don't know, there was something that came up inside of me and I moved forward anyway, right? Some of you listening now could maybe relate to that. Here's the unexpected magic that happened when I started moving forward. As I started working with clients, channeling energy for them, the healing effects on me were exponentially stronger, right? Wasn't tired after sessions. I was feeling amazing, energized, more alive than I had felt in like 3 decades. Eventually, after years of experimenting and working with literally thousands of clients, taking notes after every client, capturing what I felt, what they felt, what I experienced, what they experienced, a true system emerged for me. I realized the answer to healing wasn't just one thing, it was a very specific sequence, a 5-part formula that delivered reliable, lasting results for myself and my clients, right? When I consistently used all 5 steps, lives began to dramatically shift. I know you've already done your own deep healing work. You wouldn't be here if you hadn't. You wouldn't be on this call. You wouldn't have been attracted, magnetically attracted to this work. And now you're ready to have massive impact on other people's lives. Again, that's why you're here, right? Drop. I already see you guys. I don't even have to say it. I was going to say drop an emoji, but I see all the emojis. Yeah. Mm, Monica, that's such a good point. Yes. Yes. Okay. So I've been using this specific technique for almost a year. I've been a healer for 15, but I've been using this specific technique for about a year and have seen the most profound results of my 15-year career. So after people experience this system, they almost want to learn it and share it with others because it made such a dramatic effect in their own lives, right? You probably notice that as healers too. You're the catalyst to set people on their own healing journeys. So here's the biggest truth I've learned from my own healing journey. Your personal healing is just the beginning. It is the truth you must share with others to set yourself free, right? My own healing journey really kickstarted when I was able to share it with others. And after having hundreds of conversations with students, I know that they feel the same way. This desire to create and share with others. Mm. So let's get back to this idea about hiding, right? This mistake number one, you hide. Mistake number one, taking profit away from your passion. All right, so let's go back. I've noticed that people are out there waiting for permission. I see it over and over again. And I hope it's okay because I'm going to be really candid with you today. I'm going to say some things that might brush up against you. And that's good. That's okay. That's how we roll here, right? No one is coming to give you permission. You don't need any outside authority telling you you are ready. In fact, all you need is purpose and passion. Anyone here? Wave at me. Oh, I see all the hands already going. Wave at me. Jump up and down. You have passion. You have purpose. Yes, All you need is passion and purpose. Your passion is your permission. What do I mean by passion? If you are a business owner, it means you have a burning desire. I love Napoleon Hill called this out in his book. This burning desire to share your gifts with the world. You feel the same moral obligation to your craft like I did. If I didn't feel this moral obligation as an introvert, as somebody who felt that who am I would have stayed hidden. Do you know not everyone has passion? Isn't that funny? Not everyone has passion. If the passion, like I talk to people all the time, and it's actually one of the things that that makes me the saddest when talking to people is this apathy or not knowing what their passion is, right? So if the passion is there for you, it's the only permission you need to stop hiding. I want you to be grateful for that passion, that burning desire that is within you. So, I don't care if you've never had a paying client before. Looking at your comments. I know, Mark, you've never had a paying client before. You're in the right place. I got you, right? I want you to type in the comments, my passion. I want you to type passion, right? Antonio. Antonio. Okay. One of the biggest challenges I hear from people is confidence and self-worth. I've been hearing it for over a decade. I once had a coach tell me, you measure your worth by your dedication to your path, not by your success or failures. Ooh, that's a good one. Maybe write that down. You can measure your worth by your dedication to your path, not by your success or failures. Type dedication in the chat for me. Mm. Now, I often tell my students and my clients, be unattached to outcomes and instead live a long life creating really cool things and serving people instead. And just forget about the outcomes, right? Live a life of creating really cool things and being of service to other people. And let me just set you free. Would that be okay if I set you free right now? Right? Can I set you free? One of the biggest, juiciest lies floating around in your head. Jason. Okay, Jason just said, get out of my head. Get out of my head. Probably whispered there by your mind, your jealous friend, or that one insecure family member who thinks they're just being realistic, right? Have you ever heard that? Just being realistic. The lie is there aren't enough people out there who want what your healing services are. Have you ever thought that? Yeah, it's total nonsense. As this is a flat out lie. Market reality, and I'm going to talk about market reality today. Market reality does not back this up. In fact, there are healers out there right now making six figures that have less knowledge and experience than you. We're going to talk about what they have that you might not have, right? The health and wellness industry is one of the hottest markets there is. In 2023, the total market was at $5.5 trillion. And it's projected to almost double over the next 5 years, with the latest estimate of nearly 9 trillion by 2030. Can you handle that? Seriously, can you handle it when I start throwing out the word trillion? So if you want to go back and start telling yourself the lie that there's not enough people out there, it's just not true. All right. Drop an emoji if you want a piece of that $9 trillion. People are seeking out true healers more than they were 15 years ago when I got started. The truth, the only reason you're not already crushing it out in the marketplace is, drum roll please, you haven't decided yet to be seen. And you don't have the correct system or business model to grant you the success you deserve. Now, somebody say out loud, to yourself. I want to see you on the camera. I see all of your beautiful faces on the camera. I want you to repeat after me. I'm ready to be seen. You on the internet streets, out there watching on YouTube, I want you to say the declaration, I am ready to be seen. Claim that for yourself. All right. Do you agree this is your time, your season, your moment to stop hiding? Because you hiding is the only thing that's keeping you from that $9 trillion. Oh, I see lots of yeses in the comments. Yes. Yes. Claiming it for yourself. I know. I mean, Michelle's just out there jumping up and down, doing having her own little dance party. So way to go, Michelle. All right. I'm going to bring up my slides. This is the first time I'm going to do this. So let me see. Give me a second here. Share my desktop. Oh, okay. You see my slides? I'm pretty sure you do. Okay. Okay. Before I jump in to my 5-step high frequency healing system, I'm also going to don't worry. I'm going to get to all the hidden mistakes too. We're going to jump into the high frequency healing system. Let me first start with where it came from. All right. So in 2018, I probably shouldn't have brought up my slide right now. In 2018, I wrote my first book, Love Reiki Vibration. Maybe some of you read it. Oh, thank you, Jason. Yes. Yes. Um, this book kickstarted a lot of people's healing journeys. The book was written for my Reiki students, explaining my take on this amazing healing modality we call Reiki. Since I wrote that book, a lot has happened. In 2020, I opened up an education center. And as it stands today, we offer 23 different healing modality certifications. Now, when I opened the education center, I started exploring just about every healing modality I could and incorporated it into my own practice. So, over the last 5 years, I have stumbled across 4 healing practices. Well, many, but 4 healing practices that have rocked my world. Yes, rocked my world. When I use them all together, I have seen unbelievable transformations in clients that I have worked with. Right now, let me just start off by saying that I love Reiki without being dramatic. If you read my book, Love Reiki Vibration, you know this already. Without being dramatic, it is what saved my life. It is my first love. However, it was created way back in the early 1900s. And we have evolved since then, and our healing practices have also evolved with the demands that we face in this new digital era, right? So, here are the healing practices that I have combined in a very specific framework that, again, I call high frequency healing. So, the first is dislodging suffering using weighted tuning forks. All right. So the tuning forks specifically dislodge suffering. I refer to it as suffering from the body. We're going to get into each one of these just a little bit. Zanjay. So Zanjay, using everything I've learned about the Akashic records, intuition, translation to establish a unique connection to our higher selves, our guides, right? I call this Zanjay. If Zanjay is the energy source, a transmission is the method of delivery. All right. In the context of spiritual work, a transmission is the process of transferring healing energy and higher consciousness from a practitioner to a recipient. All right. And then we also use a frequency device on the physical body that uses microcurrents through the medium of water. Right. And then this charges our cells, and it also helps to place us in particularly during the session, that allows our brain states to drop. Right. I'm going to talk about each one of these in a little bit more detail. Would you like that? Would you like that? Yes. Drop some emojis in the chat. I want to see you. I want to see you out there. Yes. Oh my God. Michelle is still dancing. Yes. Yes. All right. Let's start here and talk about healing. Let's do that. You see my screen? Yes, you do. Okay. Healy delivers what I call a direct voltage injection. Now, there's no needles. Like, do not get scared when I say, I know Monica said, I'm scared. Direct voltage injection. Why do we need this? So, your cells are mini batteries. Illness occurs in the physical body when the voltage drops. Right? Healthy cells vibrate at a frequency of about 70 to 90 millivolts. And when you drop below 50 millivolts, you enter the illness spectrum. All right? When you drop below 15 millivolts, you start talking about serious disease. In fact, a cancerous cell's voltage is 15, sometimes people say 20, 15 to 20 millivolts or below is what is considered a cancerous cell within the human body. Healy can not only detect these cells, but deliver specific microcurrent frequencies to your body and your bioenergetic field that are an exact match for what your body needs in that moment. In that moment. In that moment. This unwinds what is not in harmony with your natural high frequency state that is your birthright. So, as for brain states, while I passionately, if you know me, you know this, I passionately teach that lifestyle changes are essential for transformation, for lasting transformation. I have never found anything quicker at helping a client drop into alpha and theta brain states during a high frequency healing session than this microcurrent support known as Healy. Okay. Healy can deliver frequencies designed to mimic those states of meditation. This, hear this, this is a game changer because you can instantly access the receptive state of theta required to dislodge suffering and install a new frequency loop, right? What do I even mean by new frequency loop? Do you guys know what I mean by that? Yeah, I mean, we do. There's so much momentum going in this direction, and we need to install new frequency loops, and that happens in this theta brain state, right? As an energy healer, I don't believe this powerful tool is a replacement, Healy, for personal work, your client's personal work, but instead it's a companion and it acts as a jumper cable, right? Healy allows electricity to flow to weak cells, giving it enough power and boost to start the engine, right? To start the engine. All right. Yes. Oh, okay. I see some questions out there. Yes. You know what? After I get through the five, I'm going to open it up for questions and you can ask me whatever you want. Anything you want, I'm here. All right, let's jump into tuning forks. Through the work I have done over the last 15 years, working with thousands of clients, I have seen undeniable patterns of where specific forms of suffering is hiding within the body. Suffering is not random. It is an energetic signature and has a specific physical address within the body. Isn't that kind of cool? Yeah. As a high frequency healer, you are taught how to use this map of emotions to pinpoint and dislodge the suffering. For example, let me give you an example. Yes. The emotion of fear, which is the lowest level of emotion, accumulates in the kidneys, the deep primal center of our survival instincts. So, in traditional Chinese medicine, they link emotions to specific organs, and they also link this emotion of fear to the kidneys. I have a cool story to tell you. Share a cool story. Yes. A couple years ago, I was doing research for a book. I was co-authoring with like a group of 12 people. Side note, we used to co-author collaborative books with like 12 and everybody would write a chapter. So I was doing research for this book and I found out the organ that is needed most frequently for transplants are kidneys. What does that say about us energetically and emotionally? And that's very interesting that we're holding, yes, exactly, Christine, exactly. We are holding fear, suffering, past traumas in our body, and it's affecting us physically, even if the trauma has happened in the past. All right. Now, compare this to the emotion of, let's say, apathy or lack of clarity, which is another form of suffering that we can hold in the body. This type of suffering usually settles into the legs, a heavy, stagnant energy that symbolically creates an inability to move forward. Now, Chris said, Chris said, I have this energy in my legs. You know what? But you're here. You're here. You're here, ready to move forward. And I don't know if you can see me, to stop hiding. Yes. In high frequency healing, we use the tuning forks to dislodge the suffering, not only where it is kept within the physical body, but where it is kept within the energetic body. All right. Another really cool thing, I'm not going to have time to go into this fully, but you know what? I'm going to, at the end of the call, I'm going to drop this into the chat for you. Um, we view the 7 energy centers not as open or closed, but as measures of alignment with the higher self. All right. So when an energy center vibrates at a high energy frequency, you're in flow with your intended potential. I know you know this. You guys are all healers on this call, so you know this. When it registers as low energy, it is simply a signal that your physical experience, what I refer to as suffering, has not yet caught up to the greatest expansion of who you are meant to be in that area. The suffering, oh, if you can just like hear this, this is so big. The suffering that we're holding within the body from past contrast and trauma is the gap between your human form's current perception and the expansion of who you really are because of that, right? There is a more truthful view of your higher self than what you are allowing to be represented into the physical world. Ooh, that was so good. And when there is low energy in the chakra system, which is it's just a form of who we are energetically, that means you haven't caught up to that furthest expansion of who you truly are. So good. So good. Oh, I forgot. My next slide is I'm just going to share a little bit about those low energy chakras with you. Anybody want to see those? Yes. Yeah, I already see you. I see you. Yes. Chris, I see you. It's coming. Okay. Here's a list. You know what? I want to say one more thing before I jump into this. We call tuning forks and the modality of tuning forks the most underrated healing modality. And the reason why is because it is going to entrain your body to those higher frequencies so that you can then dislodge this suffering within the body forever. Forever. Now, we have lots of layers. We're like onions. So when you dislodge suffering, there is other suffering within the body, but that specific suffering can be gone forever. And you can catch up with that furthest expansion of yourself. All right, back to the low energy chakras. Here's a list on your screen of your seven energy centers and their associated expression. So, root energy center is associated with transformation, sacral creation, solar plexus celebration, heart illumination, throat conversation, third eye perception, and crown connection. Let me give you one example. I don't have time to go into all of them, but I'm going to give you one. Root energy symbolizes transformation and high frequency healing. With your connection to the world, it represents your foundation of stability, security, and your connection to the physical changes necessary for growth for you. Okay. Low energy, or what we refer to as this suffering, shows up usually when you are currently undergoing a period of intense growth and transformation. The so as a healer, I'm just like going to call this out right now as a healer, because all of you on this call and watching this are healers. It's very possible that as you were growing and healing, your root was in a chronic state of low energy. The low energy is the friction of your physical self resisting or being slow to catch up with the furthest great expansion of who you have already become at a soul level. I wish I had time to go through all of these because it's one of my favorite. The way in which we interpret chakras and high frequency healing is very different and very unique, and one of my favorite pieces. And really, honestly, one of the pieces that resonates most with my clients. All right, as I promised, I am going to drop the link to those shot. If you're VIP, you already got it. If you were already signed up for VIP, you already got this. But I'm gonna drop it at the end of this masterclass. I'm gonna drop that file into chat so you guys can have it. You're welcome. You're welcome, Mark. Yes, you're welcome. Okay, yeah. Monica. Monica's saying she already she's VIP. I know you are VIP. Yes, she's already seen it. I know you it is. What can you just drop in the chat really quick? What was your biggest aha about that document? Mm, the the throat. Yes. Okay. The throat because okay, I'm going to paraphrase what you're saying, what you're typing in. For anyone watching this on YouTube or watching the replay, the throat, because normally we associate the throat with not communicating our truth into the world, but the little add-on here in high frequency healing is it's about conversation and having to have conversations with other people. And one of those things is having a conversation with yourself because the stories in which you're telling yourself are not of advantage to you and they're not true. Just like number one, hidden mistake. You are hiding because you think other people can do it better than you, or there's not enough people out into the world that want to experience who you are and your healing. And it's just not true because remember, this industry is just absolutely huge at $9 trillion. Yes. Okay. Thank you for that. Yes. You're, yes, I paraphrased. Yes. Okay. All right. Where are we at here? I got sidetracked. I got super excited. All right. Let's go on to the next, which is Zanjay, which is honestly when people read my book, High Frequency Healing, they have the most questions about Zanjay. So let's pull that up. Let's see. Okay. Here's what I want to say about Zanjay. Through years of channeling, teaching, and seeking the quickest routes to healing, a specific energetic signature emerged from my work. And I now call this signature energy Zanjay. And what it means is to soothe or assuage. At its core, Zanjay is a form of high frequency life force energy, just like Reiki, right? Similar concepts like prana or chi, but with a unique function. What is the unique function of Zanjay? It is fundamentally connected to a broader eternal perspective. When Zanjay is called upon, you are essentially channeling this vast, loving, and neutral eternal perspective. This perspective offers wisdom and insight that transcends any limitations of the current moment or the individual ego, helping to address root causes of imbalance through a place of clarity and support. While Zanjay is a universal energy, the way it manifests and it's used is highly personal and unique. Zanjay becomes a unique energy based on the individual who is calling it forward to use, and that would be you or your client. The energy is filtered and directed by the practitioner's intention, awareness, and unique energetic signature. Did you know that we all have a unique energetic signature, right? Sometimes we explore this through personality profiles, through human design. We each have a unique energetic signature, and so does your clients. So this means that Zanjay channeled for a specific client or situation will carry a unique resonance and focus tailored instinctively to the needs of that moment. Not only that person, but that person in that moment. Because can we all acknowledge that we all have different needs in different moments? And you've probably noticed this with your clients that I am right now in this moment energetically different than I was an hour ago, than I was last night, than I was 2 days ago, right? Our frequency is continuously in flux. I always say it's not a college degree. You don't get a high frequency and then have it forever. It's always in flux. So you're not just, here's what I want to say about Sanjay. You're not just transmitting like this generic force. You're acting as a clear channel for this broader wisdom to express itself in a personalized healing way. The name Zanjay, okay, here's what I want to say about Zanjay. It acts as a vibrational placeholder or an access key to the energy, even though the true nature of the broader eternal perspective is ultimately beyond any single word. So I think it's important to remember that when we're talking about Reiki or Zanjay or life force energy or Chi or prana. It's they talk about it in the book The Tao. Do you guys love the Tao, the book of the Tao? My favorite spiritual text. But they talk about it, how you can't place words on certain things because now you've just diminished it. So we've selected the word Zanjay, but that's just a placeholder. And all of this work really came about through the work of the Akashic records. So earlier I mentioned there are four things that just like out of all the things I've learned over the last 15 years, four things have shook me to my core and really taken those four things and created this high frequency healing. And one is the Akashic records, right? And seeing through the eternal broader perspective. When I've worked with hundreds of clients giving Akashic record readings or in my healing sessions. And so that's what Zanjay allows you to do. All right. Are you guys still with me? Drop me an emoji. Give me a wave. Do a little dance. Okay. Get up. If you're watching this on YouTube, like get up. Say I'm here. I'm here. I'm here. All right. Let's now talk about transmissions. I love all these topics so much, but this is one of my favorite. I said this earlier, I'm going to say it again. If Zanjay is the energy source, right? The life force energy, a transmission is the delivery method of that energy source, right? In the context of spiritual work, a transmission is the process of transferring healing energy and higher consciousness from a practitioner to a client, a recipient, another person. So think of it as teaching without words or healing without words, which, by the way, words and conversations can be extremely healing, but these transmissions are like, oh, my hand was up, waving. I love how it does that now. Imagine a tuning fork when you strike it. It vibrates at a very specific frequency. If you bring another tuning fork close to it, the second one will begin to vibrate at the same frequency. It's a process called entrainment, right? I know a lot of sound healers out there, right? Sorry, I keep getting distracted by the chat because you guys are just like so going crazy out there, and I appreciate it. A spiritual transmission works in this similar way. Okay. The practitioner who is attuned, let me just step back because I'm starting to get excited. I want to like make sure this is very clear for you guys. A spiritual transmission works in a similar way of two tuning forks training to each other. The practitioner who is attuned to the high frequency energy of Zanjay acts as the first tuning fork, and the recipient, your client, the other person, through their openness and intention, begins to resonate with the same healing frequency. Did you hear that? Because that was big. Hope you're writing that down. In the high frequency healing method, we connect with the potent frequencies of Zanjay through the Akashic records, operating directly within the quantum field where time collapses and energy instantly informs matter. All right. If you're into Dr. Joe, you've heard some of this terminology before. Yes, Dr. Joe Dispenza. I'm just saying, yes. Anyone been? Yes. Jason has been to Dr. Joe. I knew that about you, Jason. I knew that. When we first met, you would always tell me about Dr. Joe. I love that. All right. Back, back to the task at hand. In the high frequency healing method, we connect with the potent frequencies of Zanjay through the Akashic records and operate directly within the quantum field where time collapses and energy instantly informs matter. Transmissions act as a catalyst for profound shifts. Over the last 2 decades, working with thousands of clients and students, I've seen three things show up in almost every session, and I call them the three human myths. Each of the three transmissions that you learn in the high frequency healing framework addresses one of these three human myths. All three transmissions are used in a session with the client, and I have never seen quicker progress with my clients than when I use these transmissions. Again, it's also like peeling back the onions. Like I have clients that see me every other week, and we are using these same transitions, working on different yet similar things. All right. Let me give you a quick peek at the three human. I'm going to take down my slides very soon, and we're going to jump into the mistakes right after this. I'm not going to, I think you can see them on my slides. I'm not going to read through this. Sorry, technology. Myth number one is I am alone and unsupported. And we have a transmission. The three transmissions, just very briefly, is one transmission is given on the left side of the body using your hand in the client's hand. The other is, I'm sorry, the first is on the right side of the body. And it is more about the connection with your higher self. All right. It's feeling the love of who you really are. It's when you feel separated from your source. And it's even more than that, feeling separated from your source. If I can just really articulate this in a way, it's not realizing how brilliant you are, not realizing who you really are, not realizing that you are whole, healed, and perfect. That is the right side. The left side is this myth, I am separate from others. This is actually one of my favorite, this is my favorite part of the work, I would think. We call this the unraveling knot, and we use the left hand for this. The belief that others can harm, betray, or block our growth. Um, and there's this beautiful process that happens. Um, Before I get to the third transmission, I'm just going to throw this out there too, is that I actually host group high frequency healing sessions. And I know this is going to sound weird, not probably not to you guys, because you guys are all healers and you get this. Sometimes those group high frequency healing sessions are more powerful than the individual sessions. And maybe because we grow in, growth is messy and we grow in groups and it's just very powerful. But these transmissions can absolutely be delivered in a group session, whether it's in person or online. And we get into that during the certification. Myth number 3, I am incomplete and must strive to become whole. It kind of goes back to just our mistake number 1, hiding because you don't realize how magnificent you are. But more than anything, what I want to say about the third transmission is I'm actually going to hold this down, stop sharing. It's time. It's time. I hope you can see me now. More than anything, the third transmission is what I like to call a reboot. So, and the analogy I like to use is like with your computer. So, if you're having issues with your computer or your phone, has anyone, ooh, here's my phone, has anyone done like a forced shutdown on their phone and it reboots, but the software installs and now this new software installs and you can be a different person. And that's kind of how the third transmission works. It is almost like what we already talked about. It's bringing you to the furthest expansion of who you are. And it's the last thing you do in a session. So, if there are some Reiki practitioners on the call, what I'll kind of associate it with is like how you seal a session using a specific symbol. This is a transmission that is giving you the powerful upgrade so that you can catch up with the highest expanded version of yourself. Again, we use transmissions to entrain the person we are working with to let go of these myths, these false beliefs, and return to who they really are, which is whole, healed, and perfect. Yeah. I'm going to pause here for a second before I get into mistake number 2. Give you guys a second to catch up with me. And I see lots of you writing out there. Yeah. Okay. Is it okay if we get back into mistake number 2 now that I've shared the high frequency healing framework with you? All right. Mistake number 2. This is the biggest mistake most healers make in their business. And you might not like it. Not charging enough for your services. I'm going to simplify it here. Not charging enough. Been around the block for a while. I say I fell into this trap too. And I know a lot of you are falling into this trap. Here's what I hear over and over again. I shouldn't charge a lot because I want to help more people. Wave at me if you've ever thought that. I see lots of waves. Okay, Erin says she gets this. Yes. Yes, you already got this, Erin. Well, that's good. I'm glad. I'm glad you already got this. You are further than I was. First of all, let's be real. That's just code for because when people say to me, I shouldn't charge a lot, I want to help more people. I'm going to tell you that most of the time, that is code for I am not worth to charge a lot. That, yeah, you heard that. Christine, you heard that. Okay. You're not really saying I shouldn't charge more. I want to help more people. You're saying I am not worth to charge a lot or charge a value, charge my value. There's this bizarre, pervasive myth in the world of healers that you are not allowed to charge money for what you do, that you must give it away for free or collect pennies because healing is spiritual. This is another lie we have been told. The truth is that your price informs the perceived value of your services, and charging low prices, please hear this. If you only hear one thing on the call today, I want you to write this down. Charging low prices only breeds dysfunction in your clients because people who pay attention. People who pay are invested in the outcome of what you're sharing. They got skin in the game, and that's the only way true change actually happens. I was just, you know what, this just pops in my head. I was just reading this book by Wallace D. Wattles, and he said, poor people do not need charity, they need inspiration. Mm. All right, consider this a powerful study. I'm going to share this study with you. If you've been to any of my masterclass, you might have heard this before. And if you heard it, I want you to even listen more intensely. Scientists took the exact same wine and poured it into 4 separate bottles and then labeled those bottles with different prices on it. One was labeled as $5, 10, 45, and 90. Okay. Each person in the study sampled the wines, knowing the prices. They saw the price on the bottle. And when they were asked to pick a favorite, what was the result? You guys are all saying, you're all playing along with me here at 90. You guys are all typing 90. 100% of the participants in the study picked the $90 bottle of wine as their favorite. But that's not even the cool part of the story. While they were sampling the wine, they hooked the participants up to an fMRI scan, which measures the pleasure centers of the brain. So it's similar to an MRI, except it's measuring the pleasure centers of your brain. And get this, the pleasure centers of the brain only lit up when the person was drinking the $90 bottle. I'm sorry, the $90 glass of wine. People, it was the exact same liquid. What do we need to learn from this? Your price has a voice. The more expensive, the more pleasure that is received and the more value that is perceived. Automatically in the brain, it's the way that our brain works. The transformation is in the transaction. I just want to pause for the cause here for a moment and let that sink in. The transformation is in the transaction. Say it out loud with me. If I see you on the camera, I want to hear you saying with me, the transformation is in the transaction. All right. I'm going to tell you about another experiment, but this was my own experiment. This is a true story. My business coach once challenged me. She said, I want you to have 2 cohorts, right? Cohorts, just a fancy word for groups. One group, I want you to charge them $297. And the other group, I want you to charge them $6,000. Everything else is the exact same in these 2 groups. I want you to meet at the same time. I want you to have the same format. I want you to have the same content. I want you to have the same homework assignments, same everything. What do you think happened with the $297 certification? Yeah, they were late. They didn't show up. They didn't do their homework. You guys got it. Where's the link? How do I get my homework? What did you say? Oh, I didn't know we had homework. Most, if not all of them, were pretty unsuccessful in the program. It's not their fault. Let me just say that. It was not their fault. The price taught them how valuable this program was not. The price taught them this should not be important in your life. Do you hear this? In sharp contrast, the 6,000 group came in hot. Homework done, cameras on, ready, on fire. Let me get these results. They showed up for themselves, right? Remember at the very beginning of this masterclass, I said, can we pretend like you paid hundreds, if not thousands of dollars for this? Because otherwise, your brain is telling you the value. My coach says to me, if you love your clients, charge them more. Why? Because it's the only way they are going to get the results. Underpricing your offer only breeds dysfunction in your clients. Early in my career, I realized that if I was going to achieve massive impact, influence, and yes, income as well, I had to stop trading time for money. I had to move from being a practitioner to being a teacher, right? It's another piece of this. The one-to-one model is absolutely necessary in the contribution phase of your business. I know we're not, I have this framework of dreamer to expert, and in the middle is contribution. Like there has to be a contribution phase. So the one-to-one model is absolutely necessary. We talk about all this in the certification. Because what I mean by contribution phase is where you put in the reps and gather the competence and the confidence in your practice. But once you have that gold, once you are the expert with a proven system, it's time to scale and be the master teacher. It's also time where you start to realize the value of your services. And when you understand that you're breeding dysfunction by lowering your prices, it's a win-win for everyone. Right? Can you give me an hallelujah? Can you spell hallelujah? Let me see. Can you give me a woohoo in the chat? Maybe I would not know how to spell it. Oh, Erica spelled it. Well, you have, yes. Yes, you have the computer helping you out there. Okay. All right. Someone on this call needs to hear this today, what I'm sharing with you. I remember the first time I said this in a master class, how impactful this was for particularly the people at the beginning who typed in two, who do not have a business yet, but want to start one. A business is not a hobby. A business is about making a profit. Otherwise, I promise you, you will burn out and then you can't offer your super ninja magic sauce anymore. People, do you ever see people? You ever see new business owners? They just come in hot. They're so excited. They're ready to go. They're like, yes, the momentum is there. And then where'd they go? Where'd they go? It's because they were treating their business as a hobby. And when you do that and you price your services too low, I promise you, your passion is not going to be able to carry you year after year after year. The frameworks that you use, learning how to run a successful business will, and then your passion is what lights that fire. A large reason why healers are not successful in business is you or they haven't decided to fully play and go all in. You first have to decide, and then you take action in learning how. Can we read that? Decide. That is the most important first step. I'm going to first decide. Ooh. And then I need to learn how. Learn how. So for those of you playing along with me, right? You need to point your mind in that direction. You need to learn the processes. You need to learn the strategies that will take you to financial independence. By the way, I always say this actually to my son. You're allowed to earn while you learn, right? As you're learning, you can even start earning. And I share that in the certification. You can start earning while you're learning. Anybody want to earn while they learn? Me, pick me, pick me. Yes, I see your hands. I see your hands. So we might not go from where we are today to making $1 million tomorrow, but we can point our mind in that direction. If you continue to do what you're doing right now, where will you financially be in 5 years? Ask yourself that question. I'm gonna just like pause and say that again. If you continue to do what you're doing right now, where will you be financially in 5 years? The answer, in case it's not obvious, is you'll be exactly where you are now financially. If you do the exact same thing. What's the definition of insanity? Doing the same thing over and over again and expecting different results. All right, so first decide, then how. I'm going to share another study with you, and this is going to blow your mind. Are you ready? Are you ready? Okay, first, let me ask you, who here wants to help as many people as possible? Who here changed their life and wants to shout it from the rooftops and share it with everyone they know? I want you to wave at me. I see you. I see you. Yes, Erica, I see you. I'm going to share an alarming stat with you that you need to know as a business owner, which means I have to pull up a slide. Give me a second. Just give me a second. Where am I at here? Okay, here we go. In today's world, people are consuming at a higher rate than ever before in history. This should not be a surprise to you. If you look at the graph that's on the screen, 80% of our waking hours is consuming. Compared to 40% in the 80s, it's doubled, right? Do you think that trajectory is going to go this way or this way? It's going to keep going. It's going to keep going. We are endlessly consuming, watching, scrolling, asking AI. Now, AI is in the mix, right? Thank you, Steve Jobs, for the iPhone. Thank you for the scrolling. Aside from this causing anxiety, by the way, my healer friends, this is one of the reasons why the wellness industry will reach 9 trillion by 2030, right? Because this constant consumption is causing depression and anxiety. Know that people need you now. Can I just say some encouragement? People need you now more than ever. And that need will only continue to grow. So if you think you missed the boat, you didn't. The water is warm. Jump in. All right. Consumption. Ooh, I got chills. You guys get chills? Consumption is causing a new epidemic that we have never seen before in history. I'm going to tell you what that is. Yeah, some of you are already guessing. In today's world, people consume, they do not implement. Here's why this is super important to you as a business owner and a healer. Studies show that when people buy information and products, they do not use them. They are just buying. There's no follow through. Only 6% in this specific study, only 6% of people who buy a 4-week program finish it. You guys, what in the world is going on out there in the world? If only 6% finish it, that means 94% of the people who bought the 4-week program did not finish it. This is like crazy pants. Do you see yourself in this? Michelle's saying, I do this all the time. I do this all the time. That means, here's what I want you to know as a business owner. That means 94% of people who purchase your services will likely not change or transform. They are just looking for the next thing, the next fix. Is this a hard pill to swallow? It is deeply hard for me because this is what I have been seeing over the last couple of the years. It, let me take down the slide. Hold on a second so you can see. I started seeing this a couple of years ago, and it was not true when I first opened up the Education Retreat Center. I started seeing people not transforming or committing or following through at the level that they used to, even just 5 years ago. The only, I'm just kidding. Just pause here. I'm getting really excited to share this with you. The only exception to people implementing is when people purchase a premium service or offer. Remember what I said earlier. The transformation is in the transaction. The more you charge for your services, the more people will pay attention, buy in, and ultimately transform. That's why the people who bought the same exact certification at 297 had no results, yet the people that paid 6,000 were wildly successful after the program. The other day I was on a call and somebody said, actually, it wasn't even like my business mastermind. It wasn't on a call. Now I remember I was watching an HGTV program. It was House Hunters. And the wife said, are we selling t-shirts or are we selling suits here? She's like, because I want to sell suits. And the husband was like, I want to sell t-shirts, metaphorically. Now, I want to say this clearly. People pay premium prices for services because of the results that they get. I want you to write this down in your notebook. Premium pricing is associated and attached to results. So you have to deliver results. So I'm not just telling you go out there and just like offer these services and products and charge hundreds and thousands of dollars. There has to be a very desirable result associated with it. This is a side note because this is not what we're doing here, but that I have business clients that I work with where we create high ticket premium offers and they have to be attached to a result or a framework. Okay. What I am not saying is charge a whole bunch of money and not deliver results. There, I just summed that up for you. That is not what I'm saying. What I am saying, if you want to have impact and influence, your only option is to charge premium prices for your services and deliver the results. Why did they get the results in the $6,000 study? Because they showed up for themselves. I am going to change your life by inviting you into a high premium program. Why? Because it's the only way you're going to get the results. Are you getting this? Are you getting this? Oh, I see lots of fire emojis out there. All right. Right about now, someone always asks me, so I'll just answer it. How do you shift your mindset to charging more for your services? This is the question I get asked the most out of the people, the students, and the clients that I work with. How can I charge more when I'm stuck in this mindset that I have to give my services away for free, right? I love this question because it is about your mindset and having an evidence. I refer to it as an evidence file in your brain. It's not about, am I worthy to charge more? Because you are worthy. Can I just encourage you for a second here and say, you are worthy? That is not what's in question. In fact, you don't increase your prices because you are worthy. You increase your prices because you get people results. You are charging for the payoff because if 94% of people aren't completing the 4-week program, they aren't getting the results, right? So, let me answer the question. How do I shift my mindset to selling premium offers to my clients? I don't want a hobby anymore. I want a business. I want to have influence. I want to have impact. I want to have income. And I want to change lives while I'm doing it. Drop an emoji if you're ready for this shift. All right. Right before I always answer this question, I think, I don't think they're going to like this. And then I'm like, no, wait, you'll like this because I've never found a faster way. The quickest way to charge more is to invest in yourself because you can't lead where you haven't gone. If you, my friend, are unwilling to pay, you are unable to charge. You won't have the sauce. You won't have the conviction. In fact, you won't even know what the person is going through. And activation happens with the exchange of money. Money is energy. When a when I purchased my first high ticket, it was an evidence file in my own brain that normal people will buy premium offers because I was just a normal person and I did it. I had been running a successful business for over 15 years, and until I purchased my first high ticket premium offer, I did not think I was worthy. There's not enough experience, competence, or validation in the world to get you there. The transformation is in the transaction. The activation happens when you say to yourself, I'm worthy, and invest in yourself. Stop telling the story that it's for other people or that it's too expensive. The only limitation that exists is in your own mind. All right. Now, this is the fast pass to giving you conviction to sell premium offers. So I'm talking about the fast pass here. If you want to work with the mindset over and over again for a few years until you reach that point, that's another option. But this is the fast pass. All right. Do you ever think about, are there any word nerds out there? Am I the only nerd in the house? I, how dare you, Chris? Chris said you are the only nerd. Yes. No, drop a yes so I don't feel so alone. I see some yeses. Yes. I'm a high maintenance speaker. I need some loving. Give me some loving. No, but seriously, I started thinking about this word. I'm gonna write on the board. Behave. I started thinking about this word, behave. Behave. You have to be. Oh, again, another marker here. You have to be first before you can have. Have to be first before you can have. How are you behaving? Write that down. Behave. All right. This actually, I'm going to pull up my screen. I want to talk about 4 types of people because this is actually going to pull this all into more clear picture for you. Okay. Share my desk. We're back. All right. There's 4 types of people. And you need to determine what kind of person are you? Because the trick is you're going to attract people into your business that are exactly like you. All right. You attract people who think how you think and act like you act. So the first kind of person in the world, there's only 4, is freeple people. Freeple people. Type freeple in the chat. Freeple people want everything for free. The next kind of is that simple. Yes, it's that simple. They just want everything for free. The next kind of person is what we refer to as cheaple people. They will take anything as long as it's cheap and then not complete it in 4 weeks. they'll sign up for a program because it's only $97 and they're going to be one of the 96% that don't complete it and don't get any results. They say things like cheapo people, you know them right away because they start saying, I can't afford it. Oh, I want that, but I can't afford it. Not me, somebody else, but not me. Doesn't matter. The thing that we all know cheapo people, and maybe you are one. The thing that cracks me up the most about cheapo people is it doesn't even matter if they need it. It doesn't matter if they want it. If it's cheap, I'm gonna buy it and then probably never use it and let it sit in my basement. I'm never gonna download the link. Okay. Next type of person is following along here is feeple people. Not to be mistaken with freeple people. Feeple people. Feeple people are willing to pay a fee to get what they want, particularly faster. A fast pass. All right. And then the fourth type of person, pull that up here, is preple people. Preple meaning premium people willing to invest in themselves. These type of people don't ask, what if it doesn't work? Instead, they ask, I'm sorry, what if it doesn't work? Like, I'm going to invest in myself, but what if it doesn't work? Instead, they ask, what if it does work? Right? Shifting the focus. They realize how it's going to change their lives and they don't focus on the money investment. Instead, they focus on what? Antonio, you got it. The results, the payoff. They want speed. They want the journey that took you 15 years to figure it out, and they're willing to pay for it. They want to make money faster. They want to achieve whatever XYZ faster. I don't want to take 15 years. You have the map. You have the journey, right? Raise a hand. You have the map. You have the journey. There are people out there who want it and they want it faster. What kind of person do you want to be? Drop it in the chats. See a lot of people and people. I want you to get in the energy of these people so you can attract them into your business. It is, as a healer, you know energy, you know law. You know that you cannot attract what you are not being. If you are going to be a freeple or a cheaple person, you will continue to attract those kinds of clients into your business. And even worse than that, I'm going to share a little secret with you. Here's what I've noticed. My freeple and cheaple clients also, they don't just want things at a discount or for free, but they are also never happy. They complain, they cancel on you at the last minute, last minute, the last minute. They don't respect your time. They email you at 2 a.m. They sign up for the link that they were supposed to sign up for a week ago, 2 minutes before the class starts, 2 minutes before they're supposed to be there. However, my feeple and my preeple clients send me chocolates in the mail, literally, bring me flowers, literally, send me texts and emails telling me how much the work we've done together have changed their lives. They have gratitude. And more importantly, they show up. Mm, 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 mm. What types of people do you want to attract into your business, right? Here's the market reality. Now I'm just going to share market reality with you for a moment. Ultimately, people, and you're going to resonate with this. I know you can agree with this. Ultimately, people buy what they want and will move heaven and earth to make it happen if they really want the payoff or the result. If the pain, if the pain is high enough and you have the result, they will pay for those results. If somebody, let me just, I'm going to pause here for a second. Just like share this quick little story. You might have experienced this yourself or seen this with your clients. If they have stage 4 cancer and they've tried everything else, they want the payoff and the result. And they will move heaven and earth to make that happen. If they want the partner in life, they will pay heaven and earth to find that partner, to have that baby, whatever the result is, XYZ, to have more energy in their lives, to have more joy in their lives. What's that worth? But again, you have to deliver the results. Can you deliver the results? Right? Last thing I'll say about these 4 types of people. The worst thing you can do, no time or energy on this, is convince freeple and cheaple. It's a waste of your time and energy. They can't change who they are. They will continue to track those types of people into their lives, whether they're a business owner or not. If you find you have people coming into your business that want free stuff and discounts, people who say, I can't afford it, it's probably because you think and say the same things. Do you ask people for discounts? Then yes, you will get people asking. Do you say to yourself, I can't afford that? Then yes, they're going to say the same thing to you. If you're unwilling to pay, you're unable to charge. Again, that's the second time I said that. It's a quote from Gary Halpert, one of the greatest marketers in history. I'm going to share one of my little secrets with you that I love. I learned years ago. Whenever I spend or make money, it doesn't matter, either one, whether I'm spending money or I'm making money, I say to myself, there's more where that came from. There's more where that came from. I spend money, I buy something, I say, there's more where that came from. I make money, I say to myself, there's more than that came from. It's actually like a joke with my family. Like we will be out wherever. We'll be out, we'll be eating, we'll be shopping, we'll be whatever, celebrating life in whatever way. And we'll spend money. One of us will pull out our debit cards and we all look at each other and we say, more where that came from. More where that came from. Because I know the universe is reflecting back to me my thoughts, my mindset. Someone type, there's more where, I didn't even have to ask. You guys are already typing it. There's more where that came from. All right, speaking of there's more where that came from, stop share. Let's see. Oh, let me just pull up this slide so you can see this. When people pay, they show up. They are not investing in you, they are investing in themselves. All right, love that slide. All right. The best thing you can do for your business is become a people person. So when I heard my coach offer a program in the 5 digits, right? So I show up for a masterclass similar to this. I think I paid, there it was 97 or 497. I don't remember. And she said, I have this offer. I had never spent $25,000 on coaching before. I knew I was going to do it. I was like, yes, please take my money. Because I knew she was teaching me a skill, a play I could run forever. And I believed in her. And more importantly, get this, I believed in myself. And let me tell you, my friends, somebody who had never spent probably 5 figures, let alone never spent in the thousands. When you pay $25,000 for something, you show up with bells on. You hold yourself accountable. It's actually the secret to action. And more than that, now I believe 25,000 is not a number out of reach because I created this evidence file that normal people spend that on offers with epic results. Because I'm a normal person and I spent that. If I would have paid 2,000, then I would not have been activated on the same level. And I personally, just me, not saying this is you, maybe 2,000 is big activation for you. I was looking for big activation, $25,000 activation. And what I realized through that process is, um, can I just say I've never been more happy to give somebody $25,000 in my entire life? Because we are only limited by our beliefs. And this is what I want you to hear more than anything before I get to our next mistake. I didn't take $25,000 and invest in her program. I took $25,000 and I invested in me. Drop me in the comments if you're getting this. Yeah, lots of me's. Lots of me's. I see you. I'm just going to call you out. I see you, Michelle. I see you, Jessica. Antonio, Mark, Jason. Now all the me's are going so fast. Erica, Monica, Christine, Chris. I see all of you. Yes. Stacy. Yes. All right. Let's get to our next mistake. Ooh, ooh, ooh. This is so fun. Okay. Next mistake. We're just on 3. I don't know. How many mistakes do we have? I'm not sure. All right. Over the last 5 years, hundreds of people, since I opened my education and retreat center, my brick and mortar, hundreds of people literally sometimes every day tell me that their dream is to start a shine. That's the name of the brick and mortar. Hundreds of people have told me my dream is to start a place like Shine, a beautiful brick and mortar education and wellness center. But what they don't realize is that that's not where the money is. That's not where the greatest impact and influence is. To make that dream a reality, you need a minimum of $1 million for the property, for the infrastructure, for the marketing. And it can take 10 years or more before you even see a profit. Mistake number 3. I need a place. Should I say space? Space, place, brick and mortar, whatever. I need a place. Now, I'm not trying to talk anyone out of their dreams, but I want to show you an easier, faster way with almost zero risk. The way is selling your super ninja skills on the internet streets. The online learning and coaching market is exploding. It started exploding back in COVID. Everybody remember the little thing we call COVID? But it's not slowing down. The overall market was valued around 350 billion in 2023, and it's projected to reach 1 trillion by 2030. That's triple. It's not slowing down. You haven't missed the moment. Close your eyes and feel the energy. Yeah, I see you. Close your eyes. Close your eyes. Close your eyes. If you want a piece of that $1 trillion, feel it. Right? I'm going to pause for a cause here. When I hear people say, I need a space, let me be very clear. You don't need a space. You need, number 1, to stop hiding, which we already addressed. You need a framework, a system. Because premium clients like frameworks and systems because that's what gets people results. Also, if we're being real here, you need to stop hiding and using the space as an excuse because I see that all the time too. The internet streets are just waiting for you out there. Jump in. The water is warm, trust me. Here's the now I'm going to share some other stats with you. If you weren't convinced already, I want you to hear this. Here's the undeniable truth backed by consumer data. On platforms like YouTube, only 5% of users are creating. The rest, the 95% are consuming. On Instagram, only 4% are creating. The 96 are consuming. Places like online trainings, Udemy, 99% of the 77 million users are only consuming, which means only one is stepping forward to teach. Do you hear this? These stats tell you that the vast majority of people are happy being consumers while the small percentage of creators are getting rich off the 1 trillion. You remember what we said about since the 80s, we went from 40% of our day to 80% of our day is consuming. All of these people are out there consuming. Who are you? Are you going to be a consumer or a creator? And I have found that the underlying reason why people hide, ready for this? Because they think that people aren't out there that want what they want, right? Oh my gosh, you guys, I'm sorry. My team and I are always talking about how fun life is, like, and how we're so lucky to be here, right? So I'm just like want to take a second just to pause and appreciate you guys. Um, no, but honestly, one of the other the next mistake, one of the reasons why people are hiding is because they are perfectionists. That's actually why people are out there hiding on also on the internet streets is because mistake number 5 is I am a perfectionist. Oh, I'm on 4 or 5. I am a perfectionist. The number one enemy of wealth is not mindset. The number one enemy of wealth is procrastination. All right. Do we have some procrastinators in the house? Don't be shy. Actually, no, wait. I don't want you to affirm what you don't want. Let's flip that. Are there any action takers in the house? Well, my hair just got like all crazy when I just got super excited there. Any action takers? Type it in there. Action takers. Okay. Because a lot of people think I cannot go out on the internet streets or in real life, it doesn't matter, on the internet streets or in my place without having the absolute perfect service, the absolute perfect service, product, whatever it is. All right, Stephen Pressfield. I'm going to pull up this quote actually for a second. I'm sorry, I'm just getting a little wacky here because I'm just getting super excited. I want to share this quote. It's worth it. It's worth the time for me to pull up my slides. Stephen Pressfield, the author of the book, The War of Art, said, "What ails you and me has nothing to do with being sick or being wrong. What ails us is that we are living our lives as amateurs." Oh, anybody feeling that? All right, this speaks to being a perfectionist. You're gonna like this. All right. Here's the distinguishing difference between the pros and the amateurs, according to Stephen Pressfield. This is going to resonate with you. The pro does it now, right? And somebody say out there, I'm going to do it now, girl. I'm going to do it now. The pros do it now. The amateur overthinks and procrastinates. What's the biggest thing holding people back from wealth? Not mindset, procrastination. If you leave today with only one transformation internally, right? Because what am I trying to do here? You guys, really, what am I trying to do here with this masterclass is have some sort of transformation of identity within you. Because if there's not a transformation, you're going to walk out of here and do everything the exact same as you've always done it. And if you do everything the exact same as you've always done it, then your life is going to look the exact same. So, transformation of identity. If you walk out of here with one transformation of identity, I hope it's that you decide to take fast, imperfect action now after you get off this call. General George Patton said, a good plan, imperfectly executed now, is better than a perfect plan executed next week. Drop an emoji for General Patton, a man of speed. All right. The pro, next bullet on your screen, the pro charges based on results, not worthiness. The pro understands people are working with you because of the results you deliver. They don't know about your what's going on in your head. They don't know about your unworthy issues, thoughts. It's about results, right? We already talked about this, right? Let me ask you a serious question. Would you rather have a free TV that has poor quality, like one of those big, huge TVs? Do you guys remember? Am I aging myself? Those big, huge TVs that sit on the floor that you had to get up and change the station by the circular dial. Remember? Like we did not have remotes to get up and change the channel. Or would you rather pay hundreds of dollars for a 4K high resolution TV where you are immersed in the story because it's 3D and brings you into the experience? Let me set you free. That's the difference between the pro and the amateur. The amateur undercharges and burns out. Amateurs attract freeple and cheaple clients into their business because they don't understand this concept that people are paying for results, right? We want to attract people and freeple. And remember, you do that becoming pro yourself. The pro invests, third bullet, in coaches and systems that work. And the amateur tries to do everything alone, which leads to our next mistake. I like this one. This used to be me. I'm just going to raise my hand and say, I'm recovering from this mistake, thinking you have to do it by yourself. That's totally me. By yourself. Mistake. Mistake. There's this book, I think it's called Who, Not How. And it talks about how the most successful people in the world don't learn how to do something, they learn who to pull in so that they can spend their time in their zone of genius. It's taken me a long time to figure that out, but that's actually when my business went to the next level, when I realized that I did not have to do everything alone, that there are people out there, coaches, frameworks, systems, right? Yeah. I see you in the chat. I see you. Yes, Mark, I agree. That's actually chaos. Yes, I agree. All right. Have you ever started something and not finished it? Of course you have. But why? Why? Why do we start things and not finish it? Because clearly that's what we're doing by the stat I shared earlier. Here is the universal law. Creation creates chaos. Write that down. And the truth is, you don't know this. Or if you're playing life as an amateur instead of a pro, you quit when the chaos begins. The pro knows that success leaves clues, that there is a system out there that can get them the results they're looking for, that they do not have to spend the next decade recreating the wheel, right? Because what happens is people go out there to create from scratch, and creation creates the chaos, and then they stop. I don't want you guys to stop anymore. I have the map, I have the fast pass, and I want to share it with as many high mind, action taker, people, business owners that I can. I want to create a ripple effect in the world like no other. I want to convert as many people as possible to high vibration people. And there is no way I can do it alone. I need you and your light. The only question you have to ask yourself is if you are ready for this type of transformation in your life and your business. 15 years ago, I went on a path of my own where I took a system, a framework that already existed, and I'll take my screen down so you can see see how excited and passionate. I took that system and that framework and I embodied it on every level, and it changed my life. And I went on to certify thousands of people, writing and selling a best-selling book on the topic, where thousands of people started their own healing journey. And now I want to do it again. I want to do it again. I want to change the way that we look at healing so that we can be more active in the process with our clients, where we can deliver hands down results using a proven framework, right? Who's with me? Who's with me? I see all the fire emojis out there. Who's with me? All right. Well, we've covered a lot today. You got some awareness, you got some information, some opportunities to think in different ways that maybe you didn't have a few hours ago. So congratulations for making it this far. Thank you for still being here with me. Not everyone does. Give me a wave if you're enjoying this masterclass. Thank you. Thank you, Erica. See lots of waves out there. I can't wait to give you our last hidden mistake. It's my favorite. Did I say that already about a mistake? Because it's very possible, but this one is my favorite because it's going to set you free, right? Who wants to be set free? Free. Yes. Jason, free. Yes. But before we go there, I can feel the energy in the Zoom room. I bet the big question on your mind is probably, tell me more about this high frequency certification, right? Tell me more about becoming a six-figure healer. How can I do it? How can I turn this business, this hobby into a business? How can I be like you and create this successful business on the internet streets where I'm working one day a month and bringing in an income that my 9 to 5 job brought me in a year? Anyone thinking that? Anyone thinking that? All right. Well, good news. I figured this out. I have the tools that get the results fast. I want to show you how I help my clients. Would it be okay with you if I share that with you? Give me a yes in the chat. I'm going to wait for yeses. I need about 20 yeses in the chat. Oh my God, there they are. I see lots of yes. Well done. High vibe tribe. Well done. Yes, I feel you. I feel your energy. All right. My gosh, I love you guys so much. I'm just going to take a moment. I just love you guys so much. All right. What I'm about to share isn't for everyone. I just want to start off by saying that and acknowledging that. I understand that this is not going to be for everyone, but this is going to be amazingly perfect for some of you. All right. What we have is an event where we put all this together for you. It's called the Six Figure Healer Accelerator. It is one immersive experience, certification included, high frequency offer certification. I hold you by the hand and I guide you step by step. You will learn the high frequency healing method. You will become a certified practitioner and you'll be authorized as an Oracle teacher. That is the big one. And you will build your healing empire so that you can, three things, usher in the next generation of healers. Anybody want to help me do that? While achieving financial freedom, working as little as 1 day a month. Now, you're going to want to work more, but working as little as 1 day a month, right? Anybody else getting excited here? Give me a wave. Lots of waves. Oh my God, I love you guys. This is a world-class experience for the best of the best healers. You will leave with authorized knowledge that gives you the power and confidence to create sanctioned training, signature offers, whether it's one-on-one, group trainings, and have the impact you've always envisioned. All right. Over 3 immersive days of live coaching with me, you will begin given the key to true mastery. You will leave this certification with a profound gift, a healing methodology that very few people possess, yet the world desperately needs. This is your opportunity to create a ripple effect of change. All right. This is what I love because now we're talking about Dr. Joe and quantum. During this certification, we will compress time and I will deliver the complete blueprint. It took me 15 years and 3 days. You will be fully certified and ready to build your own healing empire. No waiting to be ready, no more piecing together fragmented knowledge or searching for clients and students. If this is speaking to you, your transformation is just one step away. What I want you to do is I want you to open a new tab and I'm going to drop a link in the chat to the application for anyone who is ready now for our next cohort. Let me get the link. Oh, usually I have somebody helping me with this. Okay. Yep. Okay. Oh, crap. I lost you guys for a second. Okay. I dropped the link. And I lost my train of thought as I was dropping the link. That's why I usually have somebody helping me. All right. If you want to apply for the next cohort, that link is in the chat. And I'm just going to be really honest with you. There's some questions in there. And, are you ready to invest fully in yourself? Like, we are looking for a specific group, only 6 people in this cohort. And so, if you're feeling excited about this, go ahead and grab that link and apply. Right? I already see, I see all your guys' comments already in the chat. And I love your energy. I know your wheels are turning and you've probably got some great questions. I can see the questions already dropping in. Before I open it up for the last round of questions, all right, you're going to get to ask whatever question you want. I love talking to you guys more than me standing up here sharing all of this. I loved hearing your questions. Let me first allow me to share the last and final mistake for today. All right. This one's a good one. The last mistake that healers make is disrespecting the size of your audience. I don't know what number we're on. 6? I thought I had 8 mistakes. I'm putting this one at the top. Disrespecting Disrespecting the size of your audience. If I can just take a moment, all right? Because I know this is not my first show. This is not my first time here. So I hear this all the time. If I can just take a moment to encourage you, you do not have to be a superstar like Tony Robbins. You do not. And what I mean by that is the following in which he has. You do not have to have a huge social following. Listen, whether you have one person watching your story, 10 people on your email list, or 100 followers on your page, every single one is a living, breathing human with dreams, fears, and a life that you can change. I see so many people say, I only have 5 people signed up, or only 3 people watched my video. And I always just say, only? Imagine 3 people standing in your living room right now, looking at you for guidance. Imagine 5 people sitting in your office, ready to learn from you. That's powerful. I show up for one person. Let me just do a shout out to Ted. If you guys know Ted, the greatest spiritual teacher I could ever ask for, always told me, let the universe take care of the people who are in the room. Be unattached to those outcomes. I show up for one person with the same energy I'd give to a giant conference room. That's how I've built trust and mastery in my life. Every person is a ripple. You never know who that one person knows, who they will tell, how their transformation will impact hundreds more. Favorite thing as a healer and a teacher over the last 15 years is seeing my students and their ripple effects in their lives. If I was worried about how many people were going to show up, my first training class ever 15 years ago, I had 4 people and I was over the moon excited. Over the moon excited. If you're chasing numbers over service, people can feel it. When you show up to serve, growth becomes inevitable. And here's the beautiful thing. When you use the high frequency healing method with high or profit margins, you only need to serve a handful of people every month to have a thriving business. And those people are in. They want the results. They show up for themselves. Do you rather have 5 people showing up for themselves or 100 that are mildly invested in what you have to say? I want you to close your eyes for a second. I'm gonna be real stern here. Go on. I want you to close your eyes. I see you guys on camera, so I know if you got your eyes closed. YouTube, close your eyes. Replay, close your eyes. Take a deep breath. What if you had 5 premium paying clients a month? Where could you over deliver and get them the results? Where could you have impact on their lives in a deep, meaningful way? What would that look like for you? I want you to see it. Where are you at? What are you wearing? Who's in the room? I want you to feel it. What does it feel like to actually take a step towards living a dream? Freedom, autonomy. What does it feel like to know you're going to have impact on somebody else's life where they truly change and become that person they want to be? What does it feel like to know that once you become this pro, this people person, that you are then going to attract that same abundance into your life, right? I got you. I got you. You can open your eyes. And here's the thing I really want you to hear. Part of this program that I offer is about client acquisition. So if you want to learn the six-figure strategies to fill your schedule and your room with some people, drop a fire emoji in the chat. Oh, friends. Okay, friends, let me just ask. Did you have fun today? Oh, Erica, that's so sweet. Thank you. You honor me. You honor me. Do you know that I love you? Did you feel the love? I've had so much fun. Thank you guys. Congratulations to you for investing in yourself. Remember, we're pretending like we paid hundreds and thousands of dollars to be in this masterclass. You know, investing in yourself, most people don't do that. So I'm going to leave you with one last thought. Some of you might know Elizabeth Gilbert. She wrote the book Eat, Pray, Love. I'm kind of obsessed with her writings. She also wrote a book. Oh my gosh, stop. Sorry, I just have to pause. Chris just said she's never read the book Eat, Pray, Love. Oh my goodness. Please go out and buy Eat, Pray, Love right now if you've never read it. Not the movie, the book, please. Sorry, sidetrack. She also wrote a book called Big Magic. Creative living beyond fear. I'm going to say that again. Big magic, creative living beyond fear. In the book, she treats inspiration almost like this mystical, magical energy that visits people. And she says that ideas are alive and looking for a human partner to bring them into reality. And if you don't act on them, they'll move on to somebody else. I remember reading that and just thinking, I resonate with that so much. But I also love how she positions fear and creativity as coexisting always, right? So I don't care if you've created one thing or 1,000 things, fear and creativity coexist, according to Elizabeth Gilbert. Because I think a lot of business owners have ideas, but often the fear can win out and stop you from making a difference in the world. Fear will always show up when you create, but the key is to not let that stop you. Now, I've proven this to myself over and over again that I don't let the fear stop me, right? If you haven't done this yet, I am going to challenge you to not let fear stop you from making a difference in the world, right? Here's a quote from the book. You have treasures hidden within you, extraordinary treasures, and so do I, and so does everyone around us. But bringing those treasures to light takes work and faith and focus and courage and devotion. And the clock is ticking and the world is spinning, and we simply do not have time anymore to think so small. Maybe the time is here for you. Thank you for being our friends. Blessings to you and your family. I love you. Just bye for now.